I need you out in 3 weeks. I'm like, oh my God. I was homeless. I drove to the Severn Bridge, mate. I was ready to end it. I was jumping. To be blatantly honest, I felt like a failure. I felt like I failed in business, failed in life. Nobody is perfect at everything. Nobody can pass everything. And if you're an individual who thinks you're perfect at everything, take a long, hard look in the mirror. My total aim was to help 100 working families. Absolutely smashed that within 57 days.
Well, hold on, 57 days of opening?
Everyone in life on this planet has a purpose. Get to know yourself.
First episode of I Am a Go-Getter. I am your host, Onkar, and this podcast is about the people who want to achieve, who still keep going, regardless of the circumstances that happen, who are an inspiration. These people are go-getters because these are the people who don't give up regardless of what happens in their life. And one of the very first people I wanted to get on, who is an absolute inspiration to me, and when I send you all links and everything that comes with this, you'll get to know this guy. What a man. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring you the big, massive Paul Gwilym. Let's give a round of applause. Paul.
Loving the introduction. Thank you, Onkar.
Oh, my pleasure, bro. Honestly, that doesn't do it justice for you. Justice. As you've seen from the previous when I introduced about this guy who I'm introducing, you know that he has a company charity called Boomerang. That basically, I can't describe it. It's so many things. Paul, I'd rather you explain it in a better words. What is it that you do, and what is Boomerang, and who are you?
So I'm Paul Gwilym. My charity is Boomerang Cardiff. It was established back in 2016 due to me coming out of a bit of a hardship myself from falling on hard times being homeless. But I was homeless whilst working. So it really hit home with me when I went to the government and local council for help. And because I was working, I was deemed as okay. So when I calmed down and lost my anger with the government, I thought, right, there's got to be another way of helping working families and individuals in our community. So as we do, we have a drink, we have a chinwag. Some of the best ideas come from a pint, I believe, in a pub. And Boomerang Cardiff was born. And then we got a place, a big unit. We dressed it and refurbed it so it'd be like a party centre. And my total aim was to help 100 working families.
Wow.
However, we absolutely smashed that within 57 days.
Well, hold on, 57 days of opening?
Within 57 days of opening, we helped over 500 families. It was crazy. It was just sheer carnage. It was nuts. We learned quickly because obviously when you put out a option to help people, not everybody who necessarily needs the help will come to you for help, but also people will come to you just to get freebies. And unfortunately, that is the way of the world, where there's sometimes there's lots of good going on. People will just utilize and manipulate the system to their own benefit just to save money. We quickly identified this. We learned from it. So we set up a referral process. We collaborated with local authority. We collaborated with local housing associations. I started to apply for different pots of funding, although that was a massive obstacle because I couldn't tick one box because I didn't just help asylum seeker refugee or people on benefits or people who were disabled. Predominantly, I wanted to help working families, and there was no tick box for that.
But Paul, let me just bring you back a bit here. What identified you that you wanted to go help working families? What honed you into that? What did you see that there was no help with it? Was it because of what you went through?
Yeah, because I went through it. Basically, I was renting. I was private renting. I had a business, wedding and events business, and my landlord come to me and said, "Look, I'm selling." I said, "Okay, yeah, no problems. How long?" Sure, potentially 3 months. It could be sooner. Anyway, within a week, he come back to me and said, "Look, I've just been offered a cash settlement. I need you out in 3 weeks." I'm like, "Oh my god."
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
So, I couldn't blame him, mate. He done me a good deal when I was there in the first place. I rented off him for like 9 months. So he was a lovely guy, and he had to do what was good for him, which didn't help my situation. But I had a dog. So I went to the government and said, "Look, I need help. Can you help?" And he couldn't, unfortunately, the government, because I was working. So which is really frustrating. So I was homeless. I'm lucky I had an industrial unit where I run the business from. So I went and lived in there. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't all hunky-dory. Some days were really dark and bad. However, I was very fortunate. I overcome those bad moments.
I mean, but that's the thing, Paul. That's where I want to really hone in on, if you don't mind me asking. Sorry to interrupt you, because I'm
okay.
just so. I mean, one, I did not know you ended up homeless. I mean, I couldn't even imagine that feeling of what you're going through and stuff. I mean, if you don't mind, Paul, if you don't want to talk about it, that's absolutely not a problem. But when that happened and you realize I got no place to do, I mean, what did you think? What did you feel? What was going through you at that time? I understand we get to a point where we overcome, but I mean, how do you process that?
To be blatantly honest, I felt like a failure. I felt like I failed in business, failed in life. And I can talk about it now because I've accepted it and I've grown and learned from it. I drove to the Severn Bridge, mate. I was ready to end it. I was jumping.
Fucking hell.
That's how I thought was my way out. I'm a liability to people. Life is horrible. Me being here is causing nothing but shame on my mum and dad. Luckily,
bro, fucking hell, you make me upset now. Fucking,
I used to get upset talking about it, but now I look at it as a plus in my life because, do you know what? Honestly, if I never experienced that or I wasn't there, I would never be where I am today. And I now have a 3.5-year-old little princess. I know I've made my mum and dad proud. I lost my mum 6 months after starting Boomerang. So she's watching down on me. And my purpose in my life, because I believe everybody, regardless of your situation, financial backing, academic achievements, everyone in life on this planet has a purpose. You just got to find it. And I found mine. Mine is to aspire to make a difference to those in need and those around me.
wow.
And in turn, it makes a difference to me. I am happy. I am motivated. I am energetic. Now my therapy, I listen to most mornings. I'm in my office. It's 5 o'clock. My missus thinks I'm crazy. I blast music. I have a cry to my mum. That's my therapy. The weight of the world is dropped off my shoulders, and then I'm ready for the day ahead. Every business comes with its own stress. I get stressed throughout the day. I'm like a battery. I build up the stress in the daytime of the business. I go home to my family. I relax. In the morning, I come in. I sing songs, or I attempt to sing. I can sing. I have a little cry. But you know what? It's like I re-energize that battery then. And all the crap gets lifted and forgotten about. And then I do it all over again the next day. And I've learned to process. And that's how I deal with it. I'm not saying it'll work for everyone, because I also believe in the word like mental health. I think it's thrown around too much. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel down. It doesn't mean you have to go to a doctor and get a medical diagnosis of that you have a mental problem. It just means you're going through a shit time in life. You will get through it. And I believe that if less people worried about what social media thought about them, and less people worried about what others think about them, love yourself. Get to know yourself. What makes you tick? What makes you sad? What makes you happy? I sometimes I feel like I'm a tree hugger. I really found myself. I know who I am now.
I mean, fucking that's some nuggets in there, mate. Honestly, I can't wait to listen back on it. But here's the thing, Paul. I mean, wow, how do you simulate this? Do you know the point where you were in the factory? Because I've been there in low times, but I don't think I've ever been to a face where I've had eviction or something coming out, but it's close to it in business in the sense. When you got to the point you got an industrial unit and then you realized there was no help for families, what made you, was Boomerang a kind of therapy for you to start something, or you thought at the same time it's going to help you, but at the same time it's going to be helping other people? Because I believe in, by doing such actions, you can help yourself and help other people to do like a therapy. So you're in that industrial unit, it's dark and dingy. Obviously, life's fully feeling down. Realized you couldn't get help, and then Boomerang came, like to start that whole idea. How did that process? Don't have to go right in the details, but how the hell did you manage from? Because at the same time, Paul, because we've known each other for a good couple of years, in terms of you're still managing the weddings, weren't you? At the same time,
yeah, I was still running my existing business, and a bride and groom who are actually friends of mine now. On a Sunday morning, on the Saturday, we finished the wedding, and then I took a couple of the guys who work for me back to the unit. I said, let's have a drink, because nobody knew I was staying there, so I just made up we were having a drink back at work, and then they stayed the night. We had a few beers and everything, got drunk, and then in the morning, I'll never forget the door going. I was thinking, who the hell's knocking my door? So I answered the door, and it was my bride and groom just popped in to see me, and I'm in boxer shorts. I'm like, they're like, have we come at a bad time? I'm like, no, we had a bit of a shindig last night, a bit of a party. Give me 5 minutes. So anyway, I composed myself, got myself ready, and it was about 5 weeks from becoming homeless, and then about another 3 months after that, I let the bride and groom know, because I obviously admitted it to myself, admitted it to mum and dad. My mum and dad didn't know for about 3-4 months. They thought I was still in the house in Lamuni. But I was just going back to the unit, making I was working late, so nobody knew, because I was ashamed. And it wasn't until I had that, I think it was about 4 months in, when I was like hit my lowest. I thought, that's when I went to the bridge. And then it wasn't until my dog actually barked, and then I turned around, and all I remember these big headlights and a beep, huge truck. And I looked and I thought, what am I doing? So I had a fag. I remember shaking like hell. And I got in the car, and I just looked at Giz, and I hugged my dog, and I was like, I'm so sorry, Giz. And I drove to the other side of the bridge. What really pissed me off, I paid to get back over. What really pissed me off,
I don't need to laugh, bro. You're saying, it's just like when you're pissed off, you have to pay the toll. And you, I don't need to laugh.
So yeah, and I come back on the bridge, and I remember the guy going, can I swear? There's your fucking money. And I was like, God, man, I should have just done it. I would have saved myself like £6.
Oh my God.
It's daylight robbery. You're killing me. So I got back to Cardiff then. I finished off a couple of ciders I had. I woke up the next day, and you know what? I changed. I thought, there's no way I'm accepting this. So I just cracked on and got shit done. I started working more on the business, started doing different types of advertising, marketing, different emailing, shotting, put different.
Because I know you're very talented in that. You're you're very like an all man's band. In a small business, you have to be, but you're very talented. You're so good at marketing. Honestly, I just because Gwilym is your wedding thing. But Paul, here's the thing. See, do you think then the process of getting stuck in to do the work? 'Cause before I go into there, this is a real question because I felt like the same. I've never gotten as close as there. I did have a thought one time in my life where shit was just. I was like, fuck, I was going through divorce and my first marriage and everything. I kind of almost felt like that, but then the business is fucking collapsing. I understand what you mean by shame. And if anyone's listening to this, Paul, what would you say to them in terms of, the shame part? I mean, I think especially for men, I don't know why it is. Shame's a big burden for men. I mean, how do you let that go? Paul?
I think going or reflecting on myself, and I can't speak for everyone, but only for myself. And on reflection, I've understood that the only person you should ever be proud of or ashamed of is yourself, no one else. And yes, we want people to be proud of us, but upon reflection, I don't care what people think of me now. I really don't. I don't give a shit. I don't care about money because you're only answerable to yourself. And if you can look in the mirror and go, do you know what? You've done okay today. Do you know what? You've done bad today. Do you know what? Today's been a crap day. Then so be it. But you can have, life is a roller coaster. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. And you're in control of that. Nobody is going to knock your door and give you a life. So don't sit there and moan why things aren't happening in your life if you haven't at least tried. Don't sit there and say, oh, I woulda, shoulda, could have. I've always said that I want to sit there in my chair when I'm 70, reflect on my life and go, do you know what? I tried that. I failed. But I learned from it. But from learning from that, I went on to doing this. And I was quite successful in that.
And that's the thing, you see. That's the secret. I totally fucking believe, 100% believe in you in that. You may fail, but it's the lessons you take from that failure sometimes is the seed for success. Because
failure is success. Failure is making things happen. Nobody is perfect at everything. Nobody can pass everything. And if you're an individual who thinks you're perfect at everything, take a long, hard look in the mirror and have a reality check because you ain't. Life is a learning curve. And unless we can learn, and also as you are learning, and as you are climbing the ladder, if you like, to your own success, and success is measured in many ways. To me now, success isn't money. Success is purpose, making a difference. And having my daughter go, that's my dad. That's successful.
Wow.
Well, you'll have three of them soon going, dad, dad, dad. You'll be like, shut up, stop saying dad.
Bro, they're so proud of me changing the nappies. They're like pooping the feeding machines up in there. One exploded over my mother the other day. I couldn't help but laugh, but she gave me the most dirtiest eyes in the world. It was horrendous, bro. It was horrendous. It's like, honestly, with life changes, but with kids, I totally get it. It's like sometimes I feel like I didn't want, when I had my boy, and I understand there was a new purpose. It's like sometimes I felt like I didn't want to get it because I kind of suffer from fucking ups and downs and whatever. I think we all do. I think all fucking human beings do. I mean, when someone says I suffer from this, well, we all fucking go through it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And I kind of agree with you in the sense that sometimes you're having a shit time in your life. You're having a shit fucking time. And if you need help, I would always say to anyone, if you feel you need help, go and get the fucking help, please. Because I kind of did. I went through counseling and it fucking almost like it really helped me. But that thing may not help you, but what it is the process of healing and starting and starting that. And your therapy, Paul, was in terms of starting and into the business. And here's the thing now. What gave you, so you found out you got no help. You found out that you got you're sitting here in your boxes in front of the bride and groom and you wanted so I got this fucking image with you going,
on his boxes.
I can't get this image off now, man. That might be the picture for the podcast, like you and your boxing girl. I'm gonna catch you naked.
You don't want my skinny white chicken legs out, mate.
So I'm just sitting there, to go from the Severn Bridge, you're coming home, and thank God that kind of your dog done something, because, bro, just not to have you in this world is, fuck me, it would be so dull. No, because honestly, when I see you on Facebook or I see you, I think, honestly, Paul, I tell you, I've always told you, you're a fucking inspiration. But
Oh,
I understand. Honestly, I kid you not. And the way that the reason I think you come to inspiration, because I know it sounds really stark, because you've been there, you've been in the dark times, they come. And here's the thing. So I'm just bamboozled. Because Boomerang, if people don't know what Boomerang is, please search it up in Cardiff. This guy, yeah, he literally was the first charity I know that, in a sense, to help working families. So, Paul, you identified working families, you busted out 500 families in 57 days, which is even I didn't know. So you started that. What hurdles have you had to face, and what's your mindset in overcoming? Because every time I feel like I'm going down, and I look on Facebook, fuck me, Paul's smashing it. You know, he's got these new things. Steering during the pandemic, because especially I want to talk about that. What is it? What's your mindset? What are the tools that you put in place to overcome something that? Because I know you've had to face hurdles in the Boomerang goal. So what's those magic? What's those things?
Don't get me wrong. From the beginning, the whole reason why Boomerang was set up was obviously from what crap I'd been through and no help for working people. So I was fortunate in my early 20s. I went traveling. I traveled the world, and whilst in Thailand, I learned about the Buddha, about karma, about good vibes, and
the Buddha.
And in life, it's about what you throw out. If you throw good things out in life, potentially the higher energy will come back to you, and it's a bit like a boomerang. Hence the name Boomerang. You put good things out, good things will come back. And Boomerang, the name was born from calling it Boomerang Cardiff. So my philosophy was, I'll do good, quite selfish if you want to look at it that way. I'll do good, and then hopefully good things will happen to me. But I never anticipated or expected to get to the level where I am today, because where I am today, almost 4.5 years after starting Boomerang, is I've set up so many policies, procedures, and put things into place to make my charity totally self-sustainable and not relying on any funding, because I won't tick a box. I won't take money to help one group of people, because I like to be inclusive in the very word what it means. Anyone. Obviously, I have policies and procedures that if you're on benefits, you can exhaust another avenue to get help, because the government will help you. But predominantly, I want to be the hand up in life, not hand out, to help people, especially working people.
I love that. I love that. Hand up, not hand out, hand up. I love that. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people in life need that. They don't want the handouts. They just, sometimes they're low. They just need a hand up. They're falling on their knees.
The amount of people I've helped through a conversation and like, oh yeah, I can't even get together. I can't even hoover my floor because I can't buy Hoover. I'm like, where are you? Oh, I'm in Rumney. Right, can you get here? Yeah, come here. I'll give them a Hoover for free. They're like, huh? I'm like, look, the Hoover is, to me, is an object. But that is going to change how you operate on a daily basis. I've always believed, get up, make your bed, make sure your shoes are clean, and your day is set ahead. So everybody got their own little vices of how they sort of manufacture their day. I just get up and be the best I can be for me. And ultimately, in return of that, I make a positive impact in those around me. And those around me then, naturally, their self-esteem goes up, their confidence goes up. And the people who support us see that and they want to support more, because there's nothing worse than a static charity. There's nothing worse than, well, what are you doing? Well, how are you helping? I like to think that Boomerang Cardiff ethos and philosophy is we're constantly looking for the next need. And if there's a problem, let's find a solution. And I'm lucky I've got an amazing, inspiring, empowering team behind me. Because not just me, I might be the face, but I can't do what I do without my team. And we are family here.
So I've met them. They are an amazing bunch of people, mate. Amazing bunch of people. And that's the thing, Paul. You know, in business, that's the thing. I think with entrepreneurs, because I think we're very similar in one sense. I like to go out and get stuff done and do, but sometimes we're not good at certain things. And the way that you have built that team, in terms of the business like things, what's the attributes in terms of building the team? What's your philosophy on that?
Number one, positivity and attitude. I don't believe you can teach. So somebody either got it or they haven't. To have it, I can help nurture and help bring out the best of them. Because some people are truly, absolutely inspiring, amazing. You just need to find what ticks their button and how to turn that switch on. And I've got a couple of guys here who were homeless, long-term homeless, who were in a misdirection where they were going. Now they hold on full-time jobs. They are amazing parents to their kids. They are amazing human beings in society, and they can see a vision in their life, and that is better than any sort of money any funder can give us. Because we may not change the world, but we're changing the world for that person, and that is priceless.
That is fucking priceless, bro. Wow. I mean, because I've met the team, and I remember you telling me. I mean, they help. Freaking hell, man! If anyone's not inspired by this guy, yeah, you're literally a chipping if you're not. I mean, and then people, if you're listening, you can understand now why I'm in awe of this guy. Because honestly, that's why I need to get him on. So
I asked people to come and meet the team, come and speak to the team. All the team are very open about their past experience, what they've been through, what obstacles they've had in front of them, and also where they're going. Because it's all well and good. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, I want to be rich. I want to be successful." Rich is what you look at it face value. Rich ain't having money in the bank. Yeah, everybody wants money to pay bills, but rich is being able to get up and be the best you can be for yourself and happy. And I'm not saying nobody's happy 24/7, but it's predominantly being happy most of the time and making sure that when you are a bit down or sad or feeling a bit shit, you can reflect and go, okay, right, I need a bit of me time, and go and get some me time, whether that's a walk on the beach, whether that's a drive in the car. For me, it's blasting music, attempting to sing, not knowing the words, and making a complete tit of myself. But I don't care, because that's me. And everyone's got their own little different devices and how they will reflect on themselves. But ultimately, it's about just having a purpose.
See, and that's the thing, you keep coming back to purpose. I mean, do you think that that's what, because the reason I set this podcast was because I think people are getting sucked into social media. Obviously, people probably listen to social media, and don't get me wrong, it can be a tool for good to connect and see and inspire. But it's also a fact that people are also, they can't find their purpose. What would you say to someone is like, because purpose is the thing that I see that drives you to, you're saying it's not about the money, which is absolutely important. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think money is important in terms of to be financially free and family and stable and stuff. But however, I also believe that it's also secondary and third in terms of like compared to purpose. I think that's the first thing. What would you say to someone in terms of to find their purpose? What would you think that ticks that box?
I think everything in moderation is good. If you have too much of any one thing, it can be bad. So it's finding that balance. Number one, if you want to find your purpose, I'd say is disconnect from society straight away. Go and find yourself, first of all, because nobody's going to let you do it. You got to do it. Social media, like you said, it can be good, but I've been down a few rabbit holes on social media where I've just been scrolling. Next thing you know, I've wasted 3 hours. I'm like, what am I doing? What's going on now, this pandemic? You try to understand it. Logically, me as a logical thinker, I cannot understand it because there's no logic. It's contradictive. You got 4 governments in the United Kingdom all doing different things, all based on one virus. So I've come to the understanding that I'm not going to try and understand it. I'm just going to live day to day now because it can turn you go crazy. You can go absolutely crazy.
I mean, and you know what? That's mad because you just hit on something there. When, like, sometimes I think life can be a pandemic in the sense that you're trying to understand it. Because I've had things like happen to me, good and bad or whatever, and try to understand it. And I think you just awaken something in me and just realize sometimes you don't need to understand it. Just stay in your path, do your thing.
Just go.
Would you say that? That's fucking deep, bro. That's kind of deep. I love that. I mean, so the purpose comes up. You build Boomerang. I mean, what obstacles have you come into the pandemic? I mean, everyone's had to face pandemic obstacles, be it personal life or be it in the business. What have you had to face, and what have you overcome? And what were the tools that you did to overcome them?
The biggest obstacle we got here is sustainability, I suppose, is making sure, especially for me, because my personal goal was to enable people to come off benefits if they want to. They want to work, they want to aspire to make a difference in their own life and their children's life. Is to come off benefits into employment. So my biggest obstacle was ensuring that we were earning enough money to secure that employment. Because there's no way I want to take somebody off a benefit, which is their safety net, and then put them worse off 6 months down the line going, actually, I can't afford to keep you going. You're back on benefits. So that's like an everyday obstacle. But because of everything slots into place, because I haven't put all my eggs in one basket, most charities go for funding and they'll say, okay, we got running costs, we got 4 salaries. They'll go for funding, they'll get that 3 years guaranteed. We haven't been fortunate enough to get that funding. So what we've done, we've set up different avenues of revenue. So I've got the wedding business, I've got the cafe, I've got the furniture sale, I've got the new furniture shop, I've got the auction, I've got the raffles, I've got the everyday fundraising. And we got the funding pots we applied for, the smaller pots. So when all of these different money comes in, that then creates a bigger pot. So then you're creating sustainability. And
I mean, what? Sorry, Paul, because I'm just really intrigued what you've accomplished during the last 15 months. And I mean, like, for example, you were in uni. Now you've set up this football pitch for helping people to play football. And then obviously the furniture store. You started these things where logically it's found it so difficult. How can I get this? Because this is probably more for me, because I just think like frigging the energy to literally do that. What is it do you say, for example, as the leader of your business and the visionary, do you set up the vision and then, or do you come across it? Do you say, this is what I'm going to do? Suddenly you wake up and one night you do it? Or is that something you picked up on the way and thought, wow, opportunity there? What is it that you tried? Because what you've achieved, obviously, taking Boomerang to another level with the furniture store and the whole thing. Was it because the pandemic forced you to do that?
Before the pandemic, we were growing quite quickly. And I'm very much this guy. If I see an opportunity, I'll grab it with both hands. And I've had close family members and friends say, Paul, you're taking on too much. Do you know what? I'm not, because I'm not your 9 to 5 guy. If I'm awake, there's an opportunity to do stuff guy. So I'm important that if I'm breathing, talking, and walking around, and I'm reading and I'm looking at stuff, if I see an opportunity, why not give it a try? Because all I can do is fail at that opportunity. Nothing else can happen. So why not give it a try? Because do you know what? I might succeed at it, and that will open up another door, and then that will open up another door. And before you know it, I'm sat here now, the 9th of July, coming out of a pandemic after 15, 16 months, and we've got ourselves an additional 2 centres, one selling brand new furniture, one selling second-hand furniture, and a football pitch, and a cafe. So where you only get out of life what you put in. That's the simple fact. You only get out what you put in. So if you put a lot in, you're going to get hopefully a lot out. And if anything, God bless or God forbid should ever happen to me now, my organisation is pretty much self-sustainable for at least 3 to 6 months. And then the amazing team around me will have a party because I'm no longer here. and then they'll naturally have their own direction of which way they move and lead the charity. But I'm very much a team player as well. I'm lucky. I got a right-hand man called Dave. I run 99.9% of my ideas and opportunities through him. and go, right, look, check this, check that. And sometimes I see the look of his face like, oh, fuck, what are we doing now? But you know what? Once I find it hard to articulate certain things and express what is. But once they've got my idea, they're like, do you know what? This could work. And I'll never risk anything financially now. If I can't afford it, I don't buy it. If I can't make it happen, or I don't believe, it's like a calculated risk, which you should be doing if you're an entrepreneur. Business, if you're in business without taking a risk, you're going to fail. You have to take risks in business because business is not promised. Every day is a risk when you open up your shop. Are we going to get customers in? Are we going to get footfall? So you've got to take risks in life. You've got to take risks in business. But as long as you've got a fallback, I know, and I'm willing to, if I need to go and work in a hotel, I can walk in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Decent salary. And my salary from a hotel would probably sustain 75% of the cost at Boomerang at the moment. Because I know what I'm worth in hospitality. Will that make me happy? No. Because working in a hotel 100 hours a week won't make me happy. Irrelevant to the salary. I've been headhunted since I've got Boomerang. A few people, a few different companies have said, I got this opportunity for you. Do you want to take it? And I'm talking a 6-figure salary. I'm like, no, I don't want it. I've been there. I've worked for the Hilton. I managed the Hilton Hotel back in 2007. Did it make me happy? Like hell it did. Because I was working 120 odd hours a week, punching my gut out, making somebody else richer, and just dealing with the day-to-day crap, but not myself. But now I deal with day-to-day, because no business is perfect. You deal with crap every day of the week. But you also deal with those magical moments when little Ethel stops you in the shop and goes, "You're Boomerang Paul. Thank you so much. I saw you trying to sing on one of your videos. You lightened up my day." I'm like, do you know what? All the money in the world can't overcome that one comment. So this is my purpose. This is my reason in life now. And I'm very fortunate, and I won't take advantage of that. I'll use it to my advantage to be the best I can be for the people who support us.
I don't know what to say to that, Paul. That's fucking inspiring, bro.
I feel like I've just ranted.
No. Oh, no. Honest to God, don't you dare think you ranted, because your rants are literally just got gold nuggets, because this is the whole point I wanted you on, because I feel that people, like, and again, I go through those phases. I understand the feeling when you do that video and you get someone comment and say, look, oh, that really helped me. And it's just like, wow, that's worth more than any money that I feel that I could do to go through. And it's just, I'm just trying to decipher all that information, because you've had to overcome and overcome and overcome. I mean, you've had failures, Paul. When you feel that you've failed now, obviously it's better then, because you've had to come through a learning curve and you've had to come through really, really fucking dark times. When you fail and you're older and wiser and you've got the tools now, what would you say to anyone now who's feeling like, I feel like a failure? Like, I feel like I can't be whatever, be in a business or in a personal life. What would you say to that person? Look, they failed. What would you say to them right now?
Straight away, but like, what are you failing at? How are you sort of comparing what you're failing? Are you failing compared to one of your mates? Are you failing compared to Peter Jones, entrepreneur? Are you failing to a huge global conglomerate company? No, you're not failing. Look in the mirror and ask yourself what you want, where you want to get to, and then look at that as a staircase. And do you know, to get to the top of that staircase, you've got to take the first step. I'll take the first step. And then tomorrow, if you're ready, take another step. And the next day, take another step. But don't run, walk. And that's what life should be. I think we're all too busy to get ahead of the rat race. Rather than, do you know what? Yeah. Let's take one step at a time and see where it goes. And that's what I've done with Boomerang. I never anticipated that. We've helped today. We've helped 6 people less than 15,000 families.
Fuck.
So we're 6 families away from 15,000 families helped. That's just for furniture. Then you've got the best part of 10,000 kids over the years of our Christmas gifts. Then you've got the amount of volunteers who've spent time here. Then you've got a 16 staff I got working for us. So how you measure failure and success is subjective to the individual. And when I walk through my centre and I see Rodri, who was homeless 11 years in a doorway, and he'll say himself, he pretty much given up. When he met me and started volunteering for me, now, back then he didn't say boo to a goose. Now he picks on me, he has a laugh, he banters with me. He inspires me. He got his own flat, one of the cleanest flats for a male I've ever seen. He's constantly polishing it and keeping it clean. He works 6 days a week and he has a purpose. So how do you, upon knowing that, how do you now measure failure? What is failure? So it's very subjective to the individual. And there comes a time where, as an individual, you just got to reflect on you as a person. Don't worry about your peers. Don't worry about your family. Don't worry about what somebody said, oh, this is what you should do. Do what you got to do for you. But also, along the way, just make sure you're respectable and be nice. It's nice to be nice. Just remember that. Treat people how you would like to be treated, or you want your mum to be treated, and you won't go far wrong in life.
Bro, that is absolutely fucking amazing. Honest to God, you're actually making me emotional thinking about that now. No, but mate, honestly, that's so fucking true. So fucking true. Paul, do you know what? We're coming up to the end now. Sorry guys, I know you want to, Paul. I feel we need to do like a Seth Rogen style in a meetup. Just go for all the philosophy of Paul, because this is, I need abundance. It's like, I set the time and I got fucking feeding and nappies to do it. Shit. It's like, oh, Paul, listen, I cannot thank you enough. And people, honestly, if you want to get hold of Boomerang or you want to help towards, Paul, how did they get hold of you in terms of Boomerang if they want to help out?
So if you type in any search engine Boomerang Cardiff, you will find our website, which is www.boomerangcardiff.org.uk. Then you've also got the usual ways of social media. So you've got LinkedIn, you've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All can be found either Paul Gwilym, spelled Gwilym. Gwilym. Think of Will.I.am. I'm his cousin. Put a G in front of it. So that's Gwilym. And they're the ways to find us. And if you're ever in the area of Splot, Cardiff, pop down to our centre. Pop in. Who knows? You might need us in the future. So by paying it forward now, we might be there in your time of need to give you a hand up, not a handout. But ultimately, I'd like to say to everyone, remember this. No one can help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Together is better.
I don't need to say anymore. Paul, thank you so much, mate. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I'll go and change those shitty nappies.
Hi guys, and that is the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening in. I really appreciate it. If you could subscribe for whatever podcast platform you're listening to, via Spotify, via Apple or Google or via the Anchor app, that would be much appreciated. You'll get notified when a new podcast comes out from my own personal diary or from an interview that I've just conducted. I hope you got value, and I hope that it inspires you to make the changes that you need in your life. Because remember this, losing is okay, but giving up on yourself is not. This is your host, Onkar, and have a great day.